we're investing. And I think that's the difference between what we've seen. Really, if you think about the month of June, let's chase up memory. And then July opens up, let's sell memory. And that's not investing to us. I think that you don't have to own everything. That's the key thing. In tech especially, you got to be selective. And when we've had the very good fortune of outperforming in our S&P 500 focused portfolios, that because we don't own everything, number one. Number two, we are broadening out. That's to answer your question, we are. Small cap stocks are for real. If you take a look at inherent fundamentals with respect to cash flow, in earnings discernibility in terms of how consistent they are, Paul, it's amazing. They look amazing still, and there's still a long runway to go.
Paul, let me interrupt. Oil lifts fractionally up to 85.04.
Yep.
The headline, Iran asks the Houthis of Yemen to shut Red Sea, distant west from the Persian Gulf, to shut Red Sea if U.S. hits power network. That from Reuters this morning.
Back and forth. All right. So again, Brian, here we're getting into the teeth of earnings here.
Yeah.
The first quarter is a tough bar to exceed. I mean, earnings in the first quarter out of the S&P 500 were so strong. How do you think about this quarter?
It is a tough bar, and there was many people talking about that potentially being an earnings peak, and then the next move in earnings would be the second derivative less positive. I think that still could be the case in terms of having this trend of less positive, but positive still positive. Double-digit earnings growth is still double-digit earnings growth. And what we've shown in our history in terms of studying markets, we have a double-digit performance in the market coming following this type of move in earnings as well.
Well, and also to Belski's point, it comes down to it's about the second, third, fourth derivatives of AI now playing out in the market. Tech is ultimately going to lead in 2Q.
They're like Newton and Leibniz. The two of them, the way they go after calculus, Paul.
Yeah, I know.
But Belski's a better dresser.
Okay, just help me here with my buying SpaceX. I loaded the boat at 208.
Yeah.
Okay,
nice
help
trade.
me here with a round trip on IPO SpaceX. Dan Ives.
You look when Amazon went public, look when Facebook went public. It's my view that if you take the narrow view over months or 6 months or 9, these are names that are transformational names that are going to be a huge part of the fourth industrial revolution. When you look at SpaceX, I get the volatility and obviously what we've seen in terms of the headwinds. The reality is longer term investors that own this, they own it for what's going to be AI data. They own it for what's really going to be in terms of Starlink and to really what Musk's broader vision we've said. I mean, there's an over an 80% chance that they ultimately acquire Tesla.
So, Brian, what are we doing here just in terms of, thinking about opportunities out of AI? Can we even think about opportunities out of AI? Do I go out and buy healthcare, banks? I mean, the banks just put up some monster numbers. Where else in this market do we look?
You think about a day like today with United Healthcare, right? Everybody thought United Healthcare was done. And we were very patient. In fact, I think it was on your broadcast talking about the new CEO coming in and bringing more discipline. And that's exactly what happened. So United Healthcare would be one of them that we stuck with. And we're a long-term investor in, kind of like what Dan talks about. You got to believe in the stories and proceed with your fundamentals. Healthcare is going to, I think, be pockets of their financials look amazing. You don't need a direct hit on for AI for financials, but I think you're going to see a broadening out of financials into the small banks and into insurance companies and the asset managers. This financial move is still very, very early. We're talking the next several years financials.
That's right where I wanted to go. Let me go to you, Brian Belski, first on this. And we've all experienced this. It's a party, it's great, and then it ends. I don't see the framework where it ends for Wall Street other than the Fed screwing up. I mean, other than a high interest rate regime, or as you mentioned, calculus, a first derivative of the real yield. I mean, this just keeps on going, right, Brian?
And it's 11 p.m. at the party. That goes to 4 a.m.
That goes to 4 a.m. and everyone's waiting for the last shot at 3. But everyone's teeing this up, Tommy, to blame the Fed. It's easy to blame the Fed. Everyone's waiting for it.
Blame the Fed. The Dow futures are popping 53,000.
That's what I'm talking about. So guess what? This bull market, this big giant secular bull market that we've been talking about since 2009, is not going to be ended by AI bubble. It's not. It's going to be something else. And I don't know what it is. It's going to be a new emerging market. It's going to be a commodity super cycle, something that we're not expecting.
What you just heard there, folks, bronze it. And forget about Ives. What Belski just said, you'd never know what it's going to be boy, is that just the truth.
No.
Paul Sweeney with Dan Ives.
Dan, one of the names in your space that just fascinates me is a kind of an old boring one, which is Microsoft. This thing sold off hard with a lot of the other software stocks. I've noticed it's kind of climbing its way back here, up 13, 14% off of that June low here. What's the story with Microsoft these days?
We've talked about it, for months. This is one major penalty box stock. I think investors have viewed it, the relationship with OpenAI, competition from Google and everyone else in terms of the hyperscalers. The reality is the AI revolution doesn't happen without Microsoft, with Nadella. Because if you look at it, it's their core backyard as enterprises move to AI deployments. And I just think a big focus in this earnings season is going to be the hyperscaler growth that we see from Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Because right now, look, the New York City cab drivers bearish in the hyperscalers, but it comes down to earnings in 2Q.
And they're Jason Micron still, right?
Exactly. Look, and I think to that point, memory stocks are the golden child, but it spreads to the second, third, fourth derivative, and it goes to what me and you've talked about.
I got to wrap up with two key questions, one to Mr. Ives, one to Mr. Belski. When are you going to publish at your new fair? Everybody, are you going to be like normal sell-side publication?
Normal sell-side.
When do we see that?
Over the coming months, as I ultimately launch and all the names.
Are you going to have people? Have you hired people?
Yeah, we've already hired a handful of people. Obviously, the inbound interest is insane in terms of great. Because look, Tom, like we're trying to, I try to get Belski, won't come, whatever. but the reality is, we want to build a modern merchant bank. I found great partners to do with. And it's something we're in 25 plus years on Wall Street to create something that I think is going to transform in terms on the research bank and to everything else.
Okay, so I got the kid over, the appears 8-year-old kid, and I go, you got to go to the Yankees. So we're sitting by the dugout of the Minnesota Twins.
Oh, yeah.
And
they won the series.
They won the series, and they're rocking. And like now we go into the All-Star break, and they're where the Red Sox are. They're like 1 or 2 games below 500. You got to play to win. You're not going to trade it away.
Totally. Here's the speculation. I'll be at the Target Field next Friday night to watch the game. But are they going to buy? Because they've got room. They have room in the bullpen. They traded everybody away last year in the bullpen, and they've got this beautiful core of great young players, akin to the early 2000s, I would say. And they've got a shot. But they need some back end help.
The uniform is.
They got
but
it.
Belski's Minnesota to what you wear to the games. I think we can do like an Instagram on.
Yeah.
Home opener.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's a fashion icon.
I have to say, folks, for those of you worldwide, there's stars and there's stars. Josh Bell comes out of the dugout, and he's just spectacular.
Yeah,
can he carry them?
When he swings, I think it's going to be Buxton. Buxton, when he comes back, he has reaffirmed that he never wants to be traded. He said, I want to be Joe Mauer. I want to be Derek Jeter. I want to stay with one ball club. He's the true leader of that club. And now with Correa gone, obviously they traded him last year. He is the true leader. So you get Buxton back, and you get this Luke Keyshaw guy. Watch him because they moved him out of the infield, put him in the outfield. He is going to be a player. He can hit the ball.
It's like MLB Network listening to you.
Yes,
it's fascinating. It's Swiss Army.
All right, since we're talking sports, it's July. Summer camps are going to be opening up for football. Talk to us, Penn State. Give us 30 seconds.
Look, I was there last week. I just love what Campbell and the staff have done. And I think we are going to shock college football world because these are guys that are phenomenal evaluators of talent. I think we're going to actually contend for Big Ten championship this year. They will. And then when Belski's at a game for the whiteout, USC will be celebrating.
USC is the whiteout game?
I remember, not official, but I believe that will.
Maybe kind of, sort of.
We're going to go to Scott Kirby here of United Air. It's great. He's a pilot. It had Bastian on the other day. The airlines is something that everybody in America is wrapped into. I remember the day they took Northwest out of Minneapolis. I can't remember the exact story, but the airlines, are they investable, Brian Belski?
Man, it's really hard not to say it's different this time, but you think about the structural changes that the airlines have made, number one. Number two, like Delta, for instance, bought a refiner over a decade ago. United has done an amazing job. Kirby's done an amazing job with that. Right. Delta's number one. United's a close number two. They've done great. Okay. Now, what's going to happen with American will be interesting as well.
I mentioned this yesterday, and I thought of you. Are the big banks basically technology companies that happen to have Christmas club accounts? I mean, they're winning on technology, right?
And I think that's the thing that I think a lot of investors have really overlooked is in terms of what they're doing. When you talk about AI revolution, you talk about this fourth industrial revolution, everything, it's really financials that are leading. And you're seeing it across the board. It's just to start. And for the first time in 30 years, the U.S. is ahead of China when it comes to tech.